You're listening to Australia's national youth radio station, Triple J. For more info, go to triplej.net.au.
Joining me this morning, as she does every Thursday, is Miss Bernie Hobbs, a science broadcaster, and has been joining us to talk science every week. Indeed, she's been doing a little bit of this.
Bernie and science.
And I'm excited to tell that we've got the man behind that coming in today live, Woo-hoo! Backwards Dave, who has become, let's just say, a phenomenon. So huge, in fact, that Sunrise, as we broke the story yesterday on Drive, stole the story. I reckon they just Googled Backwards Dave and got this fella in, an American guy who calls himself the fastest backwards talker in the world. Okay, this is him reversing the headline, Embattled PM Spruik's fresh face for the lodge.
They'll tab me, MP, skierps, a surfy saf, Rafet Egdal.
No, so his voice just annoys me, first off. But how do you reckon he went? I mean, it sounds kind of hokey.
Pissweek is my summation of that. All I think he got right was MP instead of PM. And the thing was, I don't know if you watched this because we saw the clip. Obviously, no one's up at that hour. And he wasn't doing, like Backwards Dave does it all phonetically. He listens to it and then he, in his brain, reverses the phonetic sound of the thing.
It sounds like it's supposed to when you reverse it.
A built-in, sound system that can just play backwards. Whereas this guy reads the thing, studies it for a little while.
3 seconds it took him.
Well,
that's a long time.
I'm not sure.
You reckon they gave it to him beforehand?
I'm not sure if they didn't prep him, but he just read the words backwards, but not in order backwards, and it just sounds stupid. It's just reading.
This is how stupid it sounded when we did reverse it.
Yeah. Yep, that's a headline if ever I heard one.
So we're getting the real greatest backwards talker in the world on the show live today. Backwards Dave joining us a little bit after 11:30 and talking backwards in the suggestions that you've been offering up on the guest book. Thanks to everyone who's done that. So keep listening. He's coming your way soon. In just a few moments, Backwards Dave is going to be in.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Oh, woo-hoo! Sorry, I'm not very good at it.
It's all right. Every email that I've received from various people in the Triple J office has been written backwards this week in anticipation of Dave coming in. So very exciting stuff. He'll be with us and talking backwards live on air in just a moment here at Triple J. Backwards Dave, in front of the mic. Hi, Backwards Dave.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
So cool. Hey, how you doing?
He looks so normal.
He does look normal, doesn't he? Hey, Dave, before we get into the nitty-gritty of exactly what's going on in your brain when you do talk backwards...
Yep.
How long ago did you realise that you could talk backwards?
I think it was around about 2 years ago.
2 years ago?
Yeah.
And how did you make this discovery?
I'm not really sure, but I think it might have been because back in high school, we tried to say our mates' names backwards.
Yeah.
I think it might have just started from there.
And you just showed a natural sort of positioning towards being able to do it.
Yeah, I just sort of thought about different words after high school, and I realised I could say pretty much any word straight away backwards.
Do you need to practice it?
Not really. Like, if it's a really hard word, like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, I just had to practice that a bit.
Can you do that again for us?
Yeah. Sexuality-Catilligrapholacropus.
It's bizarre.
It's fantastic.
Now, you obviously heard about the poaching of the Backwards Dave phenomenon when Sunrise yesterday had some fella, Backwards David.
Pathetic.
He was pathetic, wasn't he? I don't know what was going on there, but he was clearly not quite up to the task and only reversing his words backwards in a kind of looking at them and just flipping
one
them back.
word at a time. What's the point there? He's just still saying the sentence backwards.
Yeah,
it was
saying
rubbish.
forwards, but
Yeah.
Just for anyone who did miss it, this is what it sounded like when we flipped his apparent backwards talking. So it's supposed to sound like a sentence, and this is what came out. Yep.
American accent aside, that's just crap.
Yeah, Backwards David from America. We have Backwards Dave from Australia, the real champion, and he's going to be reading out some of your backwards talk today for us, some messages that you've brought in. Before we get into that, though, I want to ask you, Dave, can you do anything else backwards?
Not really. I think that's about it. I think I can spell sentences backwards as well.
Okay.
So that's the only other thing I can think of, yeah.
And how long does it take you usually when you're actually... Because we weren't giving you the text on a piece of paper of how to speak backwards. We were just saying it to you, and a second later you could do it.
Yeah.
Does it really only ever take that long? Or if there are words that you're not familiar with, do you need to get your head around it a bit more?
Okay, I can do about 4 or 5 words pretty easily.
Yeah.
6 I can do, like, it might take me a little while to think about it. As long as they're not multi-syllabic sort of words.
Yeah.
So they're pretty simple words. I can do up to about 6.
And yet you can do supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, which has got the most
I want to have
syllables
to
of all.
practice a bit, yeah.
All right. We were going to have a live sampler in to figure it out, but because things have kind of gone awry, we haven't exactly got the sampler happening, but we're going to try and record what you're saying now, and then as quickly as possible get a very fine Triple J staffer to flip it for us and play it. So are you ready for the challenge that the nation set down for you, Dave?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, Backwards Dave live on the radio. Let's start off with some palindromes. Now, these sentences are supposed to read the same and sound the same, but, either way that you have them. Bob mixes sex. I'm Bob.
Okay, Bob mixes sex. I'm Bob. Bob mia. Skaseskim. Bob.
All right, Adam gave us that one. See, it sounds just cool regardless.
Really hard.
We'll see.
Starting with a palindrome.
Okay, we're recording it. We'll see if we can flip it around in a moment's time and see if it works. Next one. Devil never lived.
Okay, devil never lived. Devil aven lived.
That sounds like a Swedish toast. Drink and take me Satan.
Are you ready for the next one? Do you need to say it out loud yourself?
Yeah, if I say it out loud, it helps me to get it set in my brain to say backwards.
Yeah, right. Okay. Won't lovers revolt now?
When lovers revolt now. One slover. Stroval stno.
He really does sound like he's speaking a really sexy language, doesn't he?
Yeah. Dave, you single, man?
Yeah, I'm single.
What do you think of the older lady?
Not bad.
You know what? I don't think he's going to be single for long, judging by his Facebook group, which has gone from about 30 members to about 250 in the last week. If you've just joined us, Backwards Dave is here live in the studio. He is answering your backwards call this morning. A whole bunch of people who left the sentences they wanted him to flip on the Triple J guest book. Tony in Perth left us one that sounds kind of ominous. The time for purification is upon us.
Oh, that's a hard one. The time for purification is upon us. Sa nopazi. Neshaki firup. Rof miast. I'm not sure if that's right, but give it a go.
We'll find out soon.
Okay.
I don't even need them reversed. I could listen to you all night. Backwards.
Hey, we're going to come back with some more backwards talking and the answer from Professor Ian Hickie from the Brain and Mind Institute in Sydney. He's going to tell us what the hell is going on in your brain. And over the last couple of weeks, while we've been milking Dave for all his worth and entertaining the nation, this guy has got incredible popularity across the Triple J guest book and all kinds of stuff. You can check out his backwards talking on the morning's blog as well, threes of it. But we still haven't answered the question, how is his brain doing it? So on the line we have Professor Ian Hickie. He's the Executive Director of the Brain and Mind Research Institute at the University of Sydney. Good morning, Professor Hickie.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good.
What can you tell us about this genius that is Backwards Dave?
Isn't the brain an amazing place?
It really is.
Most of us
it's
don't
a playground.
know it's like what's under the hub. Most of us don't know what's under the skull. And what it could do, that is, the brain, in a sense, has a lot of potential capacities that we don't use a lot of the time because we're very efficient at concentrating on what we do right now, what we're reacting to. And a lot of things that are like automatic processing, things like your computer does in the background, the brain can actually do, but we rarely tap into them. We're rarely able to actively do them because we spend so much time on what's right in front of us right at the moment, rather than letting stuff happen in a processing way and then actually making use of that. So different people probably have a different capacity to do this kind of thing in the first place. For some reason or other, the wiring allows them to do this sort of automatic processing and then, secondarily, which is really unusual, bring that into consciousness or in some way use it when they want to use it, as distinct from what most of us do, which is be distracted by what's right in front of us right now.
Hey, Ian, it's Bernie Hobbs here. Can you do it?
No. I'm hopeless.
So are you just covering your ass because this is something that... yeah, it's a special skill. It's all about wiring.
It's a wiring thing. I'm wired differently. I'm too easily distracted by everyday life.
If we could get some sort of map of Backwards Dave's brain when he's doing it, is there a certain part of the brain that would light up? Is there something that would show us that he's different from us, that he is a chosen one?
Well, what you'd probably see is not so much that the wiring is different. The wiring is probably fairly similar to the rest of us, but that he's using it in a different way, that he's creating circuits by actually practicing this and doing it regularly. He's creating circuits of processing. Now, interesting, when you listen to someone else talk, you can actually start to say what they're saying forwards rather than backwards before they say it. Have you tried this? If you know someone really well and try to repeat what they're saying forwards, you'll end up saying it almost at the same time they say it.
So like finishing their sentences?
Yeah, without actually hearing it, because forward speech is very predictable. the sort of things we say, some of you might know from the people you live with, we say it over and over and over again. We can actually, and we talk in a particular way. So humans are very good, first up, at knowing what it is that's going to be said. Somehow Dave's able to take that and do the backwards processing part in a way the rest of us wouldn't even dream of doing. But the brain has the capacity to then take that forward process, which can be automatic, and most of us have some access to, and turn it backwards. So somehow he stumbled across the skill, and then once he's got the skill, he's learned to use it over and over again.
For good instead of evil, which is...
For good instead of evil, for amusement instead of...
Backwards Dave, do you have any questions for Professor Hickie about what's going on inside your brain?
So there's nothing wrong with me? Like...
You should cherish it, Dave. You should cherish it.
I should mention Dave's head is about 4 times the size of normal, and he does have that third eye. But, apart from that, everything's as you would expect.
Oh, that's good.
Hey, thanks very much for being on the line and providing the answers for us, Professor Hickie.
Thank you.
Could we all learn to do it?
Well, a lot of us could learn to do things actually by stop paying attention to everyday life and actually practicing these things. It's like learning musical skills or computing or typing.
So it's kind of a form of meditation.
That's right. Stop thinking about it and practice doing it.
He's so zen.
Thanks, very zen. Professor Ian Hickie is the Executive Director of the Brain and Mind Research Institute of the University of Sydney, and he's been answering the questions as Backwards Dave joins us live in studio. We're going to get you those reversed backwards talking sentences that you gave us on the morning's guest book. If not now, then a little bit later on tomorrow morning after 9. Let's go through a couple more, though, before we get on out of here. Are you ready for them, Dave?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I don't know if I want to give you this one or not. I'm going to do it. Shoop, shoop, diddy, wop, karma, karma, wang, dang.
Oh, I don't even know what that means.
Is that cool? Oh, it doesn't mean anything. It's a song. Shoop,
okay,
shoop, diddy,
could you say that one more time, please?
Shoop, shoop, diddy, wop. I'll let you do that one first.
Okay, shoop, shoop, diddy, wop. Po, idid, push, push.
That sounds better backwards.
All right, okay, I'll give you one more that is more of a sentence than a weird phrase. Discombobulated unicorns tackle one another.
Okay, could you say that first word again?
Discombobulated unicorns tackle one another.
Okay, adana now, Lucas, Sroniku, Srok inu. No, too hard.
Oh, no!
I tried.
Bloody hard.
That was really
Discombobulated. Who uses
I don't know what
that
the first word is.
That was from someone who didn't actually put their name up there because I think that they were too embarrassed. Simply called Fan, Backwards Dave Fan. Hey, we've made him work hard enough. Let's see how he went. And if we can understand these, then he has succeeded. Let's take a listen to some of the reversed Backwards Dave joy that we heard just about 10 minutes ago.
Love makes sex. I'm love.
Now, which one was that? Love, Bob mixes sex, I'm Bob. Did you get that one? That's pretty good. Let's try another one.
Devil never lived.
Devil never lived.
Oh.
Sign of the devil. Okay, next one.
Wants lovers revolts now.
Won't lovers revolt now. Pretty good. Still sounds remarkably like Stephen Hawking.
Purification is upon us.
The time for purification is upon us.
That was pretty good.
Pretty good, Dave. I reckon about an 8 out of 10 for that one. I think you need to do a bit more practice.
Apparently that's all it comes down to.
Hey, Backwards Dave, thanks so much for joining us today on Triple J.
Thanks for having me.
And everyone can check out the MP3s of all that backwards talking a little bit later on today. I'll have it up for you. And, of course, if you want to be part of the love that is Backwards Dave, there is a Backwards Dave Facebook group. You just need to Google it on Facebook.
Can I just say one sentence for Bernie?
Yeah.
Okay, try to guess what I'm going to say. Irishadaba, Rolf Druth.
Irishadaba, Rolf Truth. No freaking idea.
It's something you requested last week, but I didn't hear it.
Third floor haberdasher. Can you say it again so we can flip it?
Yeah, Irishadaba, Rolf Druth.
I love you, Backwards Dave. Yeah.
We all love Backwards Dave. Thanks, Backwards Dave.
Thanks a lot, guys.
You're on Triple J.